I love a good trade rumor, and you guys are so good at letting me know yes, no, and it's usually like it's never split. It's always like yes, do this, or we shouldn't do this trade. So here's why trades are popping up a lot this time of year is because we're in that window before the trade deadline, and the Lions are a team that's clearly good, clearly has a window here to win now. So it's like, do you add another star player while the window's there to win the NFC North, have a home playoff game? So there's a player that I don't know. I kind of like it, but also at the end of the day, I don't think this makes sense to do. So you let me know. We'll break down the trade and what it would take to get this player. So the player that we're talking about is Max Crosby. And it kind of makes sense for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Raiders are in this weird place where it's like, are you guys good or not? Are you trying to rebuild? What's going on? Max Crosby at the Pro Bowl last year was talking about love Dan Campbell, love Detroit, love, and he went to Eastern Michigan. He's from the Michigan area, I think. We'll get to that in just a second. So it's kind of like it kind of works. And then at the end of the day, too, if you're a Lions fan or a Lions, if you're a Lions player or GM or in the front office, you're like, you always want defensive end help, right? You always want defensive linemen. So that's the thing. So one of the things is Crosby played college ball at Eastern Michigan, which is right next door to Detroit. The other is a mic'd up conversation he had with Penei Sewell, where he says he loves Dan Campbell and grew up a Lions fan. Love it. And then Max Crosby on the Lions would be something. You'd have Aiden Hutchinson on one side and Lee McNeil in the middle. He's been doing a lot better because you look at it. Yes, the Lions have really improved with their pass rush and 7 sacks in the last 2 games. Things are looking really good there. But when you really look at our star players on the defensive line, obviously Hutch, but some other guys, Charles Harris, like the Aquara brothers, like what's up with them? Are they ever going to play? It's like, get rid of those guys. Who's our other defensive end that we can kind of count on? James Houston is hurt. Boy, wouldn't it be awesome to have another defensive end? So what would it really take to get him? So I'll just get right to that. So it talks about what he's owed, and it's not great. And so it shows right here. He's only $7 million cap hit for the Raiders this year, but that number goes to 19 and 24, then 21 and million and 25 and 26. That's not horrible. The Lions can't afford that, but it's still a lot considering we have to extend Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Aiden and Penei is coming up as well. So we got to be smart with our money because all these really good draft picks, that's the problem. You got to pay them. So here's what it would kind of look like for, again, he's a Pro Bowler. He's only 25 years old, 26 years old. So this is what the Raiders had to do to get Khalil Mack. 2019 first, 2020 first, 2019 third, and a 2019 sixth for Khalil Mack and a 29 second. So it's just like, that's a lot. 2 first-round picks. In the way Brad Holmes drafts, it's hard to give up draft picks. It's really hard. If you don't draft well and you want to go get a player, then you go do this. But to me, Brad Holmes drafts too well to make this happen. So let's take a look at the proposed trade. Lions get Max Crosby and a next year's 6th-round pick. We give up James Houston, a 1st-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick in 2025. So the James Houston one is not the problem here. I think James Houston, Max Crosby is a completely different player, a great player. But it's these 1st-round pick and a 3rd-round pick where it's just like Brad Holmes drafts too well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, while I love the idea of Max Crosby and Aiden Hutchinson on each end, I mean, seriously, you've seen what our scheme and our defense and our attitude, and you add another premier defensive end, really is awesome. And you really see how it impacts the game. When you can get to the quarterback, game's different. I mean, it's just completely different. But I don't think you can mortgage the future, especially when we're on the right path. Like, let's continue to grow this, keep growing this. Let Brad Holmes do his thing because, again, we're going to have to pay guys. So we haven't seen that second iteration of Brad Holmes because we're seeing the first. He's building the roster. Shout out to him for that. We all get that. But then you've got to pay Hutchinson, Penei, Amon-Ra, Laporta's. I mean, you just drafted him, but you can tell that dude's a star, like Jared Goff. So you've got these really good players that Brad Holmes has drafted that are, in the top 3 at their position almost overnight. that we're going to have to pay. So keep on the right path, keep those guys good, pay them what we should, keep bringing in good draft picks. We got the quarterback, we got Hendon Hooker in the waiting if something happens with Goff or that, we can't come to a deal or something like that. We got to, like, we have built this roster so well. I love what Brad Holmes has done. So I stay the course. I love Max Crosby. Would love to see that, but stay the course, keep our draft picks. That's what I say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.